welcome back. Today I thought it'd be fun to talk about something that I think is really important, and that is if we're trying to get down our improvisations, we really need to be able to have control of three different tempos, slow, medium, and fast, and kind of be able to weave in and out of them to create really interesting improvisations. And a lot of times when you're doing that, you can't use one picking motion for all of that. I notice some players do, like Paul Gilbert seems to kind of use one motion for everything, but a lot of us mere mortals, we can't do that. So for me personally, just the way I developed, I have like 4 or 5 different techniques that I use mechanic-wise. When I play fast, it's elbow. When I'm playing medium speeds, it tends to be a little more rotational. Slower speeds, I might even use a little bit of the thumb and finger movement. When I'm muting, my hand's at a different angle. It feels a lot different than when I'm not muting. There's a lot of different things going on. And for me, the way I hold my hand is I can just blend in and out of those from elbow to wrist. And it works great. And it wasn't a conscious thing. I didn't sit down and say, I'm going to learn all these different techniques. It came from improvising, just playing along with chord progressions and just trying different things and trying to be musical. Just really listening to what I was playing and trying to play everything in time. If I'm playing at a slower tempo, I'll improvise a little bit here. I'm going to play A harmonic minor over this progression, and you can just kind of watch my techniques and I'll break some down when I'm done. So let's do it. You can see a lot of different things going on. When I'm playing at slower tempos, it's kind of wrist, a little bit of finger. When I do faster pick lines when I'm playing slow, I throw like triplets in and stuff, I tend to use a little bit of the thumb finger motion like this. When I'm cruising medium speed lines like that, what I tend to do is, it's almost like a rotational wrist thing. I'm not sure exactly where the motion's coming from, but I'm kind of keeping my hand at the same angle so I can weave into the elbow if I need it. When I'm just cruising 16th notes, like it's a lot of wrist, kind of rotational, and I weave in and out, and I might throw that little bit of thumb in to get those. When I'm doing the string cross in Vinnie Moore style pedal tones, there's a little bit of elbow in there with the wrist. Also, when I'm playing 16ths and then I throw in more than like a few notes fast, I'll weave into the elbow like this. One thing I noticed about a lot of players back in the 80s is that the rock players, is a lot of them didn't really play the medium tempos. They'd play really fast or slow, but they didn't just cruise the groove at the medium tempos. That is something I always wanted to do. Now, some players did. I noticed Vinnie Moore, he really worked the mid-tempo stuff. Mike Stern was like a huge influence on me. That was a guy, Pat Martino. A lot of the jazz guys, I mean, they just live in that territory. It's great to be able to weave in out of the slower to that, going into the faster lines. And when I do that, I just weave in and out of all three, from the elbow to, when I'm cruising to 16ths, I might throw a little bit of the thumb finger stuff in. It really totally depends, and I'm not really thinking about it at all. I'll improvise a little bit here again, and we'll see if we can see some of those movements. When I'm playing more like Eric Johnson or faster pentatonic lines, I tend to almost tilt my hand forward. I think it's maybe like Troy Grady talks about it. I do that because when I pick a lot with the elbow, I tend to cross to a higher string with an upstroke and a lower string with a downstroke. Not always, but a lot of the time. And when I'm playing pentatonics, I'm going to that higher string with a downstroke. So I just sort of naturally kind of worked in that way of doing it. If I'm muting, I tend to rest this part of my hand, and it's a totally different way of playing than the other ways. But when I'm playing, like I said, I don't think about it. And how that came about, all these different techniques and being able to blend them, I didn't sit down with the metronome. I never really did that when I was younger. I just played over songs I'd put on, like Deep Purple, Made in Japan was one, or a lot of Deep Purple, because if you look at Machine Head, it has like every groove on it. You got the swing stuff, the up-tempo stuff, the more funky. It's all on Machine Head. It's a great album to jam with. And I just put on records and improvise for hours over those records, just kind of having fun and not even thinking about it. Then as my playing developed, there was a period where I really wanted to get that cruising 16th thing going, and I didn't have that in the beginning initially as much. Like I was talking about, a lot of the rock guys didn't. I changed my pick when I first started. I kind of held the pick up, and I still love the sound of that tone, and sometimes I'll still play like that just for fun. I actually have videos from a few years ago where I'm just doing them all in that style. But generally now, I point it this way. Although when I'm playing, sometimes it's almost even. And sometimes I will almost go the other way when I'm playing. So it's totally mixed up. It's all about the ears for me, hearing everything and going for what I want it to sound like. That's the most important thing for me. And just improvising for hours and really knowing the neck. If you're practicing something a certain way for a long time and it's not coming, I would change it up. There's got to be an easier way. And there's so many different ways to pick. There's no right or wrong way to have emotion, as long as it works. If you go to like Troy Grady's website, he knocks on like a table and shows all the different ways you can pick, and it's pretty amazing. So I thought I would come on and talk a little bit about my motions, my mechanics. So anyway, if you like this, please like and subscribe, and I really appreciate everyone who watches and all your comments. I think it's awesome. Thank you. And until next time, have fun picking.